Greetings, welcome to the Thoughtsurfer Zone. Today I'd like to talk about a subject that people mention a lot, and that's political ideology and political identity. In particular, they were talking about the traditional left versus right political spectrum. Now I think there's a lot of confusion about this issue, and I'd like to clarify it the best way I think I know how. Okay, now in the traditional spectrum historically, you have the concept of freedom versus the state. On the far right, you have fascism, or the total domination of the individual by the state. And on the far left, you have anarchy and no state. Now, immediately, most modern people can find things wrong with this vision. On the left, for instance, not only do you have anarchy, but you also have communism and liberalism, socialism. And on the right, you have conservatism and libertarianism. Now, this can't be right in the minds of most people. How could you have a totalitarian system like communism lumped together with anarchy? And how can conservatives who want limited government be lumped together with fascists? Now, some people have come up with ways of explaining this, like saying that theoretical communism is only temporary and will eventually lead to the abolishment of the state. But that doesn't explain how socialism stays on the left. Of course, some people simply rewrite the spectrum and put socialism, fascism, communism on the far left, and put anarchy and libertarianism on the far right. The anarchists have their own spectrum of the anarchist left and the anarchist right. And I think they're actually onto something, because they recognize that the problem isn't the placement of the ideologies, but the definition of the spectrum itself. You see, when you examine it carefully, the spectrum really isn't about the state versus the individual. It's about equality on the left versus elitism on the right. It goes something like this. Fascism leads to an elitist society through the activity of the state. They, of course, promote laws that institutionalize racism and sexism. They outlaw unions. That's helping capitalists make more money. They even gave the rich slave labor at a certain point, like during World War II. Conservatism and libertarianism tends to lead to an elitist society through the inactivity of the state. Just get rid of taxes and regulations and let nature follow its course, with some people on top and many on the bottom, and a system where the government's main function is protecting property rights and private ownership of the means of production. Communism and socialism leads to an egalitarian society through the activity of the state. Racism and sexism are officially outlawed, promoting an almost androgynous society like the old Mao outfits. The capitalist class is eliminated through government ownership of the production and so forth. And anarchy, through the inactivity of the government, leads to an egalitarian system through the elimination of property rights. The means of production belong to the people voluntarily without government apparatus. So once you redefine the spectrum in this way, it makes a lot more sense.